friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Mom receives a heartwarming message from best friend after son is diagnosed with autism. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. The world tilts, the ground falls away, and suddenly you're suspended in space when your child is diagnosed with autism. A mom who went through this receives a heartwarming message from her best friend after her son is diagnosed with autism. As a mom to 3 kids on the spectrum, my heart goes out to Leah Hurd. When the diagnosis came for her little boy Kai, it was an answer wrapped in a swirl of emotions she couldn't untangle. Relief, fear, love, and uncertainty are all wrapped up in the same breath. She wasn't grieving her son because she was still the same bright, beautiful child she's always known. But she was grieving the unknowns, the challenges that she hadn't yet seen, but knew would come. And then in the middle of that freefall, her best friend Jillian did what every mom prays for in the dark of night. She showed up, not with answers, not with fixes, but with something just as powerful: presence. A soft knock on the door, a bouquet waiting on the doorstep, a handwritten note that simply said, "I'm so proud of the mama that you are today. You are a loving and amazing mom. These kids are lucky to have you." Leah saw it on her Ring camera first, when Jillian gently placed the flowers and stepped away, giving her space to feel without expectation. When Leah opened the door and read the note, she crumbled. Tears slipping down as the weight of the day found a place to land. "I knew immediately she was doing something sweet for me, because that's who she is," Leah said. Leah shared the moment on TikTok, not expecting the flood of responses that followed. The video has since been viewed 3 million times and liked by more than 300,000 people, mothers, fathers, and friends who saw themselves in Leah's story. The comments poured in, filled with love, solidarity, and heartbreaking reality. So many moms walk this road alone, aching for a friend like Jillian. "A lot of people thought I was crying because of the diagnosis," Leah said. "In reality, I was crying because of how much that gesture meant. It wasn't about the flowers, it was about being seen. It was about somebody stepping into the unknown with her. Not offering fixes or trying to make it easier, but simply saying, 'I see you, I'm with you, you're not alone.'" Jillian never imagined her small gesture would resonate with millions. She said it healed a part of herself as well, Leah shared. Motherhood can be an isolating journey, especially when navigating a path not everyone understands. Leah knows this now more than ever, but she also knows something even greater. When a friend steps into the space of uncertainty with you and holds space for the ache and the hope, it changes everything. So if you're wondering how to love the moms in your life who are walking a hard road, Leah has a straightforward answer. Hold space for them. Always check in. Offer an extra hand, a coffee, an ear to listen. Just let them know they're not alone. Because sometimes love looks like a bouquet of flowers left on the doorstep. Sometimes love looks like a friend who stays. Galatians 6:2, carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
"98-year-old great-grandmother has a special connection to her great-granddaughter." Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. Some names are whispered through generations, stitched into the very fabric of a family story, soft echoes of love that refuse to fade, especially for this great-granddaughter. You will adore this 98-year-old great-grandmother with a special connection with her great-granddaughter. For Amanda Starce and her sister Brianna Pecora, their grandmother Dean wasn't much the matriarch. She was a steady presence, the warm embrace, a voice of wisdom woven into their childhood. Growing up a single mom, Jean was always there, second heartbeat in their home, an anchor when life felt unsteady. So when Amanda found out she was pregnant after a difficult journey, she knew deep in her soul that this child would carry more than just her love. She would carry a name. My due date was October 8th, Amanda remembers, which is also my birthday. It's a meaningful date for our family because my mom had a baby before me, a little boy named Joseph, who was born in August but had a genetic mutation that prevented him from digesting food. So he passed away on October 8th, 1990. Then I was born on October 8th, 1991. When Amanda found out she was expecting, it felt like a sign, a gift from heaven above. When I found out I was pregnant, it felt like a gift, like maybe Joseph had sent us this baby, she says. So we told Grandma, if it's a boy, we'll name him Joseph, and if it's a girl, we'd name her after her. And oh, how Jean wept. At 98 years old, Jean had lived long enough to see the world change in ways she never imagined. But time stood still on that day she met her great-granddaughter, Lily Jean. The moment Amanda was discharged from the hospital, she called her mother. You need to bring Grandma here right now. We never know how much time she has left, she said. And so Jean came. Her hands, weathered with decades of love and loss, reached out to touch the baby's tiny fingers. And when she learned the child's name, her name, was being carried forward, her eyes filled with the kind of tears that only come from a life well lived and a love well given. My grandma's name was originally spelled Jean, Amanda explains. But when she was filling out paperwork to serve in World War II, she thought it looked too plain, so she changed it to Jeanne, a name chosen with intention, a name carried forward with love. Amanda's sister Brianna recorded the moment Jean met Lily Jean for the first time, a sacred, fleeting exchange between past and future. Later, as their grandmother faced a health scare, Brianna scrolled through her camera roll and found the video again. Something in her heart nudged her to share it, so she did. Within days, the video went viral, garnering nearly 2 million views. People poured into the comments, sharing their own stories, their own grandmothers, their own heartstrings pulled tight by the weight of nostalgia and the weight of being named after a loved one. I've been surprised by how many people have the name Jean, Amanda said with laughter. Thousands of comments saying, that's my middle name, or my grandma was Jean too. It reminded me how much names hold, and how much history they carry. Now, 100 years old, Jean still holds her great-granddaughter close, even when miles separate them. I try to visit as often as I can, once or twice a month, but Lily loves FaceTiming her. She calls her Grandma Jean and says, I'm Lily Jean, just like you. And the two of them, they share peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They giggle over FaceTime. They wrap each other in love that defies time. A love that says, I see you, I remember you, you are part of me, and I am a part of you. For Amanda, watching her daughter and grandmother together is like watching the past fold into the future. The woman who once cared for her now watches her care for her own child. And the hands that once held her steady now hold her daughter. In that sacred, breathtaking way, love lingers, love remains, love is carried on. And so is Jean's name. Psalm 103:17. But from everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who fear him, and his righteousness with their children's children.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
What happens when a writer and former history teacher goes toe-to-toe with his best friend, a nationally touring stand-up comedian? Total carnage, that's what. 2 men enter, and 2 men leave, because that's how it works.
Actually, you get hilarious, real, and insightful conversations about life, history, culture, faith, and everything in between.
Join me, comedian Johnny W., and my pal, author and speaker John Driver for Talk About That at lifeaudio.com or wherever you get your podcasts.